7 to shoot. His team is down by 3. Pirouettes, tosses it up. Oh! Joker's wild! We are tied at 103. Kick, Dort, extra. Williams on the way. Connects. Thunder lead by 3. High screen, Hartenstein. Shot clock is down to 6. Gilgeous Alexander on target.
The MVP duel living up to expectations. Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. That's the Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. That's the champion Steve Smith. I'm Chris Miles. And really, we get down to, can you get me a stop when it matters? And can you get me a bucket when it matters? Zeke, this came down to just that. And for the Thunder, they held Denver scoreless for 7 minutes when it mattered most. Then after Joker made that incredible shot, the Thunder went on an 8-0 run. And that's this game in a nutshell. And now the team with the best record out west is 1 win away from going to the Western Conference Finals.
The best record out west, the number 1 defensive team in the NBA. And what did they rely on in the fourth quarter? Their defense. They shut Denver down. Denver scored 19 points in the fourth. But the 34 that OKC scored came off of their energy, their enthusiasm for getting defensive stops. And then SGA took over. He made big shots down the stretch. The Joker was making big shots. But I thought OKC's defense was the story tonight, particularly in the fourth quarter.
You know, Smitty, when I hear that, I think of this series, and there's something about the Nuggets going into the fourth quarter with an 8-point lead. And for OKC now, we've seen it consecutive games. They're able to step their defense up an extra level in that fourth quarter.
They do a great job. I mean, that pick and roll, Jamal Murray and Jokic two-man game, whether it's a dribble pick and roll or a handoff, they sometimes switch it because they get caught, but then also they come double. And then Isaiah said it earlier. When the ball is skipped to the open guy, the guy on defense, OKC, they arrive at the same time as the ball arrives.
Yes.
I mean, Lou Dort closed out one time, and I was in the back. I said, that's unbelievable because he was playing Jamal Murray. He got a switch, and the ball was skipped over, and he got to the corner the same time as the ball got there. Their defensive pressure and their Small's ability not to stop the Joker, not to be able to guard him, but not let him just get a free range and run to the rim. They battle him and make him make tough shots.
You know, and I hear that, Zeke, and I go, okay, so the Joker and Jamal combined to score 25 points in the third quarter. Then I look into the fourth, and yes, Nikola Jokic gets his 13, but Jamal Murray can't get those same looks. It just seems like the Thunder have that game plan to what Smitty is saying to, okay, we'll give it up in one quarter, but not the entire game.
Yeah, and your defense is only good enough as your ability for your weak side to help and recover. And what OKC does better than anybody else in the NBA right now, their weak side defense is able to help and recover. And consequently, a guy like Michael Porter, you know, who they really needed tonight to make shots, even though he's got the shoulder injury, you know, he's 1 for 7, only gets 2 points. Why? Because he can't get away, and then he's bothered with the shoulder, but the defense in terms of help and recover defense, that is the key. That it's not about what you do on the ball. It's what your weak side defense is able to do in terms of being able to help and recover, because no one man can stop the Joker. And as we see, no one man can stop SGA.
Yeah, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, 10 of his 31 points coming in that decisive fourth quarter. Here he is with Stephanie Reddy.
Shai, here we are, fourth quarter again. We have heroics with you guys. You've outscored them the last 2 fourth quarters significantly. What are you finding down the stretch?
Being aggressive, trusting the pass, trusting each other. Throughout the game, it's full of swings. You make shots, you miss shots, but just trusting our principles. And 2 games in a row, they've had our back, and we've been able to pull out a W.
Your coach talks about the confidence of this team, and you all do to a man also. The depth of this team to be able to play 10 players consistently in the second round of the playoffs. How significant is that for you all?
Yeah, very. We're fresh because of it. We like to play fast, so being fresh helps. And it's just a different personnel to throw at people. It ultimately makes us all stronger. You know, you're only as good as your weakest link, and all 10 of our guys are ready to go no matter the stage, and you guys see it every night.
Speaking of different personnel, you all have thrown everything and everyone at Jokic. He had 44 and 15 tonight. How do you survive that?
It's a team sport. No one guy can do it. I need Chet. Chet needs me. We both need Dub and Hart and K. Rich and so forth and so on. Like, we all need each other. Obviously, he's a really talented guy. But all we care about is winning the game, and we got one tonight. We got to go get one more.
Thanks for stopping. Nice job.
Appreciate it.
I mean, Nikola Jokic, 44, 15, and 5. But looking at that stat line, as crazy as this sounds, it's actually kind of a winning formula against Denver this year. They are 5-7 when Joker scores 40 or more. Remember, during the regular season, he averaged 10 assists a game. In this series, only averaging 5 assists.
Yeah, and you know, we expected this game from the Joker tonight, and not only did we expect it, but he delivered it. But OKC was good enough to say, okay, we know what you're going to do, but we're going to rely on our fourth quarter defense, and we may not be able to shut the Joker down, but everyone else, we're going to give them a difficult time. And they did that. And that's what SGA was referring to in his interview also.
Nuggets interim head coach David Adelman at the podium now with his team facing elimination.
Coach, second straight game where shooting was an issue in the fourth with a lead. Is that fatigue? How do you explain it?
I mean, you can say it's fatigue. I think shot quality, too. I thought early in the quarter we did get really good shots. They didn't fall. And then late, their pressure got to us, and we were up against the clock a lot. So if it is fatigue, that's on me. You know, I'm deciding who's going to run it and who's going to be out there. So, you know, if guys were tired or had tired legs, that's the decisions I'm making. So I like the group that we had. We had a good rhythm there going to the fourth. And I thought we sustained it early. You know, and I had the 4 timeouts to stop the game a couple times in the first 6 minutes. We didn't have enough at the end. And the shot creation that when we did make it, it felt like every time we had a chance to go back up 12 or get back up 14, you know, we wouldn't make the shot and they'd run out and make a basket or score in transition. So it compounded itself. You know, we had great performance from Nikola. Just, you know, have to have a few other guys have a game, which we can do in game 6, have full confidence in our guys.
David, a little related, but I think you guys have lost 3 of the last 4 postseason games when Jokic does not sit in the fourth quarter. Just curious what went into the choice tonight.
Yeah, it was my decision. You know, I had a conversation with him. He felt good, and I was going back and forth with it. With the 4 timeouts, that was a big factor for me. You know, you get 2 of those timeouts. If Mark calls one, that's 7 minutes of rest, the 2, 3.5, you know, timeouts. So I felt comfortable with that. You know, I felt like the momentum of the game was going our way, and he was, you know, very sure of himself. Wanted to play through him. I'll look back on it. I'll doubt myself because we lost the game. But keeping a guy out there that was 17 of 25 was extremely efficient, 5 for 7 from 3, at 44 of 15 and 5. So it was a decision that I made to leave him out there. I do not regret it right now, you know, after a loss, but if I go back and watch the tape, maybe I'll have a different opinion tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously, this is much more the Joker type of performance people are used to seeing as opposed to the last few games.
Right.
What do you think got him in a rhythm and allowed him to be himself tonight?
Yeah, he had better legs, and I thought the face-up jump shot always gets him going. If he makes one of those early, and he made the touch shots around the rim that seemed like haven't been going his way lately, which is surprising because he's been so good at them for so long. Once he saw those go in, you know, it just kind of unleashed everything else. You know, the 3-point shot looked good. He found the offensive rebound, you know, 6 offensive boards. You know, that helps you get a rhythm too, just find easy baskets, layups, things like that. So good for him, but this is a really disappointing loss. The guys in there should be disappointed. It's a heavy loss, and we have to bounce back quickly to win game 6 and give ourselves a chance to come back, have a game like this, but finish it.
And then, you know, in clutch time of your couple losses, you guys really did a great job bottling Shai up. Last couple games, he's been able to close.
Right.
What are you seeing there?
I thought our activity in the zone and the man wasn't good enough at the point of the pick. You know, the running pick and rolls trying to get him downhill. I didn't think our shrinks were as good as they've been the last couple of games. It's something we can watch and talk about. And I'll say this, give Lou Dort a lot of credit. We had a chance to, I wouldn't say blow the game over or out, but we had a chance. And when he made those shots to keep them in it, that was big. The rotations changed after that. They got back to their normal rotation. I ran guys longer. But when we had that lead, you have to capitalize on that. And to their credit, their role players made big shots.
David, kind of building off that, after Joker hits the Sombor that ties it, you guys send two at Shai. He gives it up to Dort.
Yeah.
Extra pass to Jalen for the corner three. Next trip down, you guys don't double Shai. He hits the pull-up three.
Right.
What can you guys do better in that situation, or is that just kind of a tip-your-cap moment?
No, I think it was with Dort, I think we over-rotated to him. They did a nice job. They screened in the rotation on the backside for Jalen to get that shot. When you see a ball go in like that, and they're coming down the next possession, Shai taking a step back three, and he's 1 for 3 for the game. He was exploring the elbows a lot. And a contested three like that, I think sometimes you have to live with. That's not his game at the end. But to his credit, he made it. But I thought where he really killed us was just in that middle paint area. He got there way too easy in the second half. They made a concerted effort to get early hits to get him downhill, both him and Jalen Williams. So we just have to do a better job, like I said, with our team defense. It doesn't matter if it's zone or man. Everybody's got to be in and show bodies, show their jerseys to him. Some of it was way too easy in the second half.
Before the game, you mentioned that coming into this one, you reminded your players, you be the Nuggets. How close to as well as you guys can play did you play? And that's the question. How close to as well as you can play did you play?
Yeah, I thought Nikola played incredible. I thought our effort was incredible, but we can play a lot better. I think it's in these guys that if we create the open shots we created tonight, we're going to have games where guys make shots behind it. And you look at the 13 for 46 from three. There were so many good looks from different people. We know Michael's a better shooter than that. Aaron shot the ball so well. I thought Jamal had great looks. So you have to live with some of that. But if we can complement 17 to 25, 44 points with some other guys finding a rhythm out there, we're very capable of doing special things. And that includes Thursday, and that includes on the weekend if we can get back here.
David, you guys have lived with Dort's three, not just all series, but all season.
Yeah.
The ones he made tonight, are those shots that you live with defensively, and do you kind of regard it any differently when he's playing at home as opposed to on the road?
I don't, because I thought we did a much better job contesting them tonight, too. He made shots, yes. These were not no closeout threes. I thought Nikola, when we cross-matched on him, and he made the shots, they were big shots. I thought they were well contested, within the sense of what his game is. And to his credit, he made it. His team needed it in a big moment. And we talk about this all the time. These playoff games a lot of times are won by one run of a player that's not Shai, not Jalen, Jamal, or Nikola. It's somebody else. And we're hoping for that moment. We go back home, have a couple guys have a night like that pushes you over the edge. And we've been so close to winning these games. The ones we've lost outside of game 2, we've played well. We've played with great effort, intention. And if we continue to do that and the ball goes in, we're going to have a great chance to get back here on Sunday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
6 Thunder players scored in double figures, led by Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Now the Thunder 1 win away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals. What a 48 hours for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were down 2-1. Now they're up 3-2 in this series.
Extra passing, the team defense, the rotations. Just tell me about the level of trust that this team exhibited tonight in a gut check game.
Yeah, great job hanging in there. First of all, we didn't play great. We were a little sloppy in the first half on both ends of the floor. That was as loose as we've been defensively. Really since game 1, or maybe worse than game 1. I'll have to watch it, but to hang in there the way we did and get back on track was impressive. And then I thought we closed really well. Both ends of the floor, high level of connection. Guys played great.
Mark, you went away from Lou late last game. He doesn't start the fourth, but you go to him and he plays the rest of the way, hits 3 threes, saves some pretty huge possessions. Can you describe your faith in him?
Yeah, I don't bet against Lou. It's that simple. He's just got an unbelievable there's just a special thing about him. He's always going to stand back up. He's not perfect, but he's always going to respond. He's always going to compete. You always can count on him to do that. And I don't like betting against that guy.
And all series we've asked you about your comparative experience and clutch time minutes. And, for my money, it feels like you just clutched up maybe the biggest game in this building. Just what are your thoughts going down the stretch? And I guess, how do you feel about your team in clutch time?
I mean, the close games are, first of all, our execution was excellent. I thought we executed as well as we have, in the playoffs, down the stretch of a close game. We had a couple in Memphis, and then we had the few here. And our execution was very good. But at the end of the day, those games can come down to one shot, one play. It could go either way. So you can't overreact to the outcome. I just thought our process tonight down the stretch was excellent. We got into stuff. We were organized on both ends of the floor, no breakdowns, and strong execution.
I think going into the fourth quarter, you're 7 of 20 from 3. Then Lou hits 3 in that 2-minute stretch, and then you close with J-Dub and Shai hitting big threes. Was that just what the defense gave those guys? I mean, what turned it around from distance for you here?
Lou, stepped in with confidence and made big shots during that stretch. That was huge because we were, down whatever we were, 9 or 10 around that time. The 2 down the stretch, Shai's just taking what they gave him. He was clean on that one. He didn't force that. It was a great rhythm shot. And the dub one was a great early pass by Shai, extra by Lou, to generate a really good look. So, like I said, I thought our process down the stretch on both ends of the floor was really, really clean.
Quick follow-up on Jalen Williams. Jay Will gave you a nice little spark in the third quarter. Then you subbed him in with Chad after Lou hit that first 3 with about 8 minutes left. A couple of rebounds, a couple of good defensive possessions on Joker, and then a couple of nice passes too. What did you think about his minutes, and how big was he tonight?
Yeah, he was huge. He's been huge in this series, but Hart in the first quarter, I let his stint linger too long. We're trying to keep these guys fresh, especially the guys that are handling the major matchups. And so that was on me, and getting to him earlier in both the third and fourth and keeping everybody fresh for Jokic was a huge point of emphasis. So, but he stepped up. I mean, Jalen is a unbelievable competitor. He made big time plays. He had a great pass to Chet there down the stretch, and played great D on Jokic.
Mark, 68 wins, all the good things that happened this season, but a lot of people question your inexperience and everything else, and playoff, toughness, whatever. You guys are trading licks back and forth in that fourth quarter. What does a game like this do to answer some of those critics, and what does it just do for the confidence of the team overall?
Yeah, we don't play to answer anybody. We just play for one another, for our fans. The guys have an unbelievable connection in the locker room. That's enough for us. And they've had an unbelievable spirit. That's why they've accomplished what they've accomplished to this point. And it's why they show the type of resolve on a night, like I said, that we, for a lot of that game, we didn't have our fastball, but we hung around long enough and showed great will and connectedness down the stretch.
Mark, this is now back-to-back games of really impactful minutes from that trio of Kaysen, Caruso, and Wiggins. What is it about those 3 guys in particular that allows them to play so well together and sort of amplify each other?
I just think, first of all, they're all like team first guys. The whole team is, but those guys are team first guys. They compete together. They complement one another's with their skills. Kaysen and Caruso defensively, there's a great contrast there. They bring different things to the table, but they really play together. They have great chemistry out there, but all the guys do. But that unit was big in the second quarter. They kind of stabilized the game for us, and then obviously gave us good minutes in the second half.
Coach, what did you see from Joker in terms of energy? I mean, he did look just worn slick in that last game, and tonight not only does he make everything, but he looks like there was plenty of energy.
I mean, he responded like great players respond to adversity. Like we knew coming into the game that we were going to get a very, very potent version of him, and we did. He was decisive and quick and forceful. He was, just beating the guy on the ball. He was beating the shell, getting to his spots, and we just have to understand going into Game 6 in Denver, like this is a prideful team. He's a prideful player. Like that's exactly what we're getting. They're going to approach this game the exact same way with the same type of physicality, force, and we can't be late to that party.
Coach.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It feels weird to ask somebody who won 68 games, like if their team is still learning how to win games, but it feels like in these playoffs, especially the way Denver's pushed you guys, if you had to learn how to win these types of battles and these kind of slower games that they've been putting you guys through.
Yeah, I think, I said this after Game 4, and I'll reiterate it now. I actually think we're a better team today than we were at the beginning of the series. Like we're definitely evolving and growing and learning, despite the fact that we think we can play with anybody, and we've had some success. That doesn't stop us from growing. This is a humble group of guys that stay grounded through the success, and that's what allows them to continually improve despite the success. And so we've had to really test ourselves through 5 games. Game 6 is going to be a massive test for us in Denver, because it's on the road and because of the way they're going to play. And we'll grow from that as well, regardless of outcome.
Coach, in terms of confidence, to see a player like Shai, a young player, assume control in the second half and in the game's biggest moments, just from your own experience and your own vantage point, how do you see that pushing him and continuing to see him grow?
Yeah, Shai in particular?
Yes.
Yeah, I like our team. I don't think he had his fastball early tonight. I thought there were some plays that he could have gotten calls on. He didn't. He got hit. He went down there and played through that, and just didn't seem to be in the same rhythm and flow that he's normally in the first half. It's the playoffs. We're talking about Jokic the last couple games, but what the great players do is they rise, in the face of those challenges and adversities. And I just thought he got more and more composed as the game went on and settled into the game. And despite the fact that the pressure was mounting and it got hotter in there, he got cooler, and just kind of settled into it, made the right plays, let the game tell him what to do. He was unbelievable. He closed that thing down the stretch.
Both teams scored a lot in the paint tonight. What do you feel led to that?
I mean, both teams have not scored a lot in the paint in the series, and that's how these things unfold. Is you get confronted with very uncomfortable problems, and then you have to solve them, together. And while we're trying to solve our problems, they're trying to solve theirs. And I thought both teams tonight showed the remnants of that. They solved some of the things that have been bothering them that we've been doing. We solved some of the things that have been bothering us, and that's what a series does to you. It's just it's a slog in that way. But both teams played better in certain areas of the game tonight. And you tip your hat to them. And I thought we did a good job ourselves.
This will be the last question to Barry, then we have players.
Yeah, Mark, when Lou, you were down 9 when Lou made 3 threes in a 4-possession span. Clearly, the 9 points is important. You needed it. But what did that do to the rest of the guys to see Lou make those 3 shots in a short span, just from an energy and confidence perspective?
Yeah. It's kind of like these guys are so connected. It's kind of like if a family member of yours is hurting or happy, there's a contagiousness to that because of the connection you have to a family member. That's how they are with each other. So when they see a guy rise like that, they feel that, and Jay Will in Game 2, Wiggins and Kaysen last game, it brings an energy to the whole team. It's contagious through the team because of the relationships that they have and the thing that they've built. So it breathes great energy into the team every time somebody rises back up from an adversity. And he was obviously the story of the game with his ability to do that tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.
Jamal Murray, 28 points in a losing effort for the Denver Nuggets.
103 apiece after Joker hits that Sombor shuffle. I guess what do you think it came down to there in the final couple minutes after it was even there?
Kind of scrambled right now, but I got to go back and watch it. I just thought we gave a couple open shots, though. They hit him, and we didn't execute on the other end, but I got to go back and watch it.
couple of those possessions, you guys, right after he hits the game-tying three, you guys send two at Shai. He gives it up to Dort. Dort, extra pass to Jalen Williams. He makes the corner three. Next trip down, you guys don't double Shai. He hits a pull-up three. Are those like effort plays, or is it just kind of you got to pick your poison? In terms of whether you're doubling Shai or not?
No, I don't think we was doubling it. I just think we were just in the zone, and then we didn't rotate accordingly, and then we gave another three. I mean, when they hit shots, it changed the game. So
next, you guys had a 7-point lead on Sunday, didn't close. You had a 9-point lead tonight, weren't able to close. What's been, with the last couple fourth quarters down the stretch, and if you guys are in the same position on Thursday, what do you guys have to do to get to the
better communicate? I think all around, offense and defense, get to our spots and execute. I felt like we got some good shots at the end. I just felt our defense wasn't up to par. So especially closing minutes of the game. So I think it just comes down to a little bit better execution and not giving up wide open shots, just kind of putting out contests, make them have to do something else or whatever work for it at least. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could just do better in that regard.
They obviously did a great job defending Joker the previous 3 games. What do you think got him back in his normal kind of groove tonight?
I mean, a lot of times they just missed shots, man. I mean, a bad game, he had 26, 10, and 8, and it was like, he played bad. Like, no, he missed shots. There's a difference. He's still playing. He's still the engine of our offense. He's still coordinating. He's still anger on defense. He still does a lot of different things. So, I don't think Yoke should be going through any type of slander when, he's still playing all NBA, MVP, Hall of Fame type of level. If I don't ever think it's his fault for missing a couple of touch shots that he's been making his whole career. I don't think that's fair. If you want to look at somebody to blame, I think I need to do better. I didn't shoot the ball as well as I need today, and I had some sloppy turnovers. I could have, taken command of the ball a little more, maybe down the stretch, and got us a little more organized or something. But I think he's been playing amazing. I think he does everything he can to win every single night. So
obviously, any playoff loss is going to be tough to stomach. Is it a little tougher when it's a night where he's putting up these kind of numbers?
No, it's a night where it's when we're going to win. When we have the game in our hands like that, and we just kind of let it slip away over the course of a minute or two. It's real frustrating. But all in all, I think we're playing a great game. We just got to keep the good mindset. We're going back home, keep a mindset. It's going to be exciting. It's fun. This is what the playoffs are for. So we're up for the challenge.
With you and Joker playing the whole fourth, did fatigue set in? Was it just kind of a different...
Nah, man. No, I don't use that.
Yeah.
I play better when I'm tired, So I gotta go get the ball and do something.
2 games where you're right there in the fourth quarter. How much does that steel your resolve that you can beat them, and how much regret is there that it both slipped away?
It's not really, I wouldn't say regret. It's a team thing. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody to kind of be on the same. It's not one person that's messing up. So I think we just all got to be on the same page. And it sucks. It's sports, man. But the greatest thing is in a day and a half, we get to come back. We're going to go play the game in Denver, and then we get to come back. And we just got to keep that mindset. Like, it's not like we're playing a bad brand of basketball. It's not like we're playing on selfish. I just think it comes down to getting a couple stops to win the game, and they've been doing a good job of executing down the stretch. And, we'll be better.
How confident are you that we'll all be back here this weekend?
Very confident. I always am.
Just in those 2 games, they're obviously an extremely impressive team to have won as many games as they've won. What makes them so tough to put away just for 4 quarters?
I just think we're playing a good game. I just think we let it slip away at the end, and our rotations just weren't on point to end the game. Or we may have scored and they were coming back, and we're calling 2 different defenses. You just mess up, and rotations may not be there. So it's a rough one. But I'm very confident in the group that we have, and we've been in a position before. So we'll get back to it.
You obviously know Lou Dort really well, competing against him, playing with him. What do you think about the impact that he was able to have in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, shooting open shots and making them and changing the game. Right.
All right, cool. Thank you.
That was Jamal Murray coming to the podium next. Your MVP finalist, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You're watching Playoff Central Live. Nuggets and Thunder, Game 5. Your MVP finalist, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA getting the assist to his fellow All-Star, Jalen Williams here. Then Jalen Williams paying it forward to Isaiah Hartenstein, under the rim nominee.
Yes, he had him skating and backing up and moonwalking.
Then Chet Holmgren, very aggressive, attacking the rack. OKC up by 6. Nikola Jokic, it's my turn now.
Big boy.
17-8 run by Denver. Jamal Murray, the dime to Aaron Gordon, who had 6 points in the first quarter. Then the Joker cleaning up the glass, 44 points, 15 rebounds for the Joker. Second quarter, a 9-0 run by Denver. They're up by 7. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. After this Jamal Murray make, check it out again. Another Smitty's under the rim nominee.
Jamal Murray makes plays, and there you talked about that guy, Gilgeous-Alexander.
Coast to coast.
Ooh.
One man to beat. Easy bucket for him. Denver up 2 at the half. We move to the third quarter. Welcome to the block party. Isaiah Hartenstein giving out an invitation to Aaron Gordon.
Big block there. That was a big block. Big momentum change, too.
Jamal Murray attacking this time. No denial. Using the rim to shade.
Nice job on that one.
Then Jamal Murray for 3. The Joker and Jamal in the third quarter combined for 25 points.
They got hot.
AG for 3. But you see that 12-point lead in Zeke, the physicality here. Nikola Jokic called for an offensive foul, but the Thunder setting a different kind of tone.
Yeah, I thought both teams played with good physicality, and I thought the referees really did a good job of allowing teams to play. Now, that clearly was a foul. It could have been an offensive foul or, a foul on the defense, but it went against Joker.
You said Joker would put up big numbers. Zeke, here he is, again, 44 and 15.
Yeah, I think the longer the series goes, the more effective he will be, particularly when you have a game now coming up Thursday and potentially Saturday or Sunday. The big guys normally play better in games 5, 6, and 7.
Lou Dort having a big third quarter.
Yes,
Then Chet Holmgren tying it up at 96. The Joker inside tying it up at 98.
Love this shot.
And one.
Big time.
You called this stuff. The MVP candidates going back to back.
Zeke, look at that.
Come on now.
Oh, this is a big one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder go on an
8-0
run. But Zeke, they hit big shots. They also got big stops.
They got big stops, and you see that, as we talked about, your defense is only good as your weak side can help him recover. And OKC was great at recovering, and SGA was putting him to sleep.
Your proverbial dagger, 10 of his 31 came in the fourth quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, also 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Here he is at the podium.
Go ahead for Shai.
Shai, between just continuing to play the guys deep into the roster that you're playing, the extra passing that you all made late, tell me about the feel of the trust that you guys have out on the floor.
Yeah, we had no choice. The game obviously wasn't going our way, and we always say the answer is never like a hero play or anything out of the ordinary. It's being who we are. It's trusting each other. It's playing with all 5 on both ends. And whatever the problem is, we can fix it with the collective effort and not a single effort. And that's all we try to focus on when it wasn't going our way. We did enough to get a W.
Shai, maybe you don't view it as a hero play, but the 3 you hit late, you've been telling us that you're fit for that moment all series. That's sort of the shot that's been nagging you all series. What does it feel like in that moment when it hits, and I guess what are your thoughts down the stretch as it becomes obvious that you're going to pull away?
It felt like it's about time. Now I always say, like, especially jump shooting, it goes up and down. It fluctuates so much. You can't get caught up in the emotion of it. It's just about, like, the discipline in it and staying true to it. And I could have turned it down and like, because I had missed, I didn't make a 3 last game. I didn't make a 3 this game up until that point. I could have turned it down, but it's something that I'm confident in. And because of my confidence, it paid dividends tonight.
And just, Mark was just in here talking about Lou's impact, specifically the threes he hit. He compared it to, he said him hitting those threes is like when a family member's hurt or sad, like the contagiousness of the energy plays like that bring. Just what did you sense the team felt after the quarter he had?
Yeah, it was big. Lou hadn't been shooting the ball great, obviously, but that just speaks to the worker and the person he is to step into those shots with confidence. Obviously, they're guarding us a certain way, and those shots have been there, and they haven't been falling. And tonight, he stepped into those with confidence, and like, it's clear as day, we wouldn't have been able to win tonight if Lou doesn't make those shots. So his braveness to shoot them and his confidence to take them. But nothing out of the ordinary. That's who Lou is. That's his character. And he came up big tonight.
Go ahead. So it seemed like your offense started clicking in the second half, getting to the basket in transition, maybe getting your spots a little quicker on the mid-range shot. What felt better in the second half versus first half for you?
Just settling into the game. They're like throwing different coverages, going from zone to man so often. Like, just taking what the game gives you, settling into it, and living with the result.
Yeah, Vince, go ahead.
Shai, the narrative this season has been about, will Oklahoma City have the maturity, the experience to take the next step? I'm curious, how much responsibility as the presumptive MVP do you feel on helping getting this franchise over that hump right now?
A lot of responsibility. For me, first and foremost, like, winning is the end all be all. That's why I play basketball. And I know that across the locker room. So like, whatever it takes to get that done is what our minds is on. And it's not just me. It's not just coach. It's not just Sam. Like, it's across the locker room. And I think that's why we've been able to win basketball games this year. Now, we all know that we can't get ahead of ourselves, and we got to play the play in front of us. If we want to get there, we can't skip those steps, and that's what we focus on.
Jenny?
Shai, Mark was in here saying that you guys aren't trying to answer anybody else's questions, but I'm wondering with tonight and maybe even tacking it on to Game 4, what answers are you guys providing yourselves with the way you finished these last 2 games?
When we do what we're supposed to do, and we are locked in on both ends of the floor, we're able to go on runs. And when we don't do it on either end of the floor, it leads to their runs. So like Coach said, I don't think nothing's been unexpected or wowed us in our performances. It's been what we know all year, and all year we've been building those habits to make sure that we are ready for these moments and ready for these games, and we have one more to go get.
Shai, I know you just respect great players, so you're in a series with a great player with Jokic. What have you learned just watching him play and watching him compete, or how he goes about his business in these kind of games?
Yeah, I think above all, like, he's very smart. I think that's what gives him his edge. He's very smart. He's always manipulating the game. He's always thinking plays ahead. He's reading the defenses, reading the offenses. Like, his intelligence is very high out there, and he's always using it.
Shai, going back to Lou, we've seen him hit big shots from the beginning, really, even going back to the bubble and that Game 7. Like, what is it about maybe his personality in these big moments?
Yeah, his confidence. He works hard, and he trusts his work. It's that simple. And he doesn't waver, whether it's makes or misses. Like, I think last game, he started 0 for 4 from 3 and shot his 5th one like it was his first shot of the game. Like, Lou's special in that aspect. Like, his confidence is unwavering, and it's turned him into the NBA player and the basketball player he is. And without it, he wouldn't be as good as he is. So hats off to Lou.
Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, J-Dub hit that big shot in the corner down the stretch. Denver calls a timeout. What's going through your head at that moment?
I think it was Lou, good pass, Hart, good screening. But I think that play, we just took what they gave us. I think I drove, they doubled me, I moved it, the next guy moved it, and we found the open man, and the open man was ready to shoot. But I think that just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, it's been nothing special. Like, it's been nothing that has come out the blue. It's been no secret formula. Like, we just, on that play, and the biggest plays and the biggest moments, you flex the muscles that you've been working on all year, and that play is exactly what we did.
Shai, this is now back-to-back games where you guys had like huge swing minutes from that lineup with the bench with Caruso, Case, and Wiggins. But can you just talk about the overall depth and how that's helped you guys succeed in the playoffs, even to guys like Jay Will?
Yeah, it's helped us succeed all year, really. Being able to play that many guys, get some guys rest, also be able to throw different personnel out there so it's not as like scripted. It's a little harder to guard. And we have a bunch of guys that like can go in and impact the basketball game no matter the stage, no matter the game. And we use it to our strength, and that's what's made us who we are.
Dean, go ahead.
Yeah, SGA, wondering if this was the most physical of the games so far. And on that play with Russ where you went down, the fans, for what it's worth, they thought it seemed like a dirty play. How did you look at it? What did you think about that play?
I don't know. I was just trying to play fast, and Russ came out of nowhere, fouled me. Like, I didn't think much of it, to be honest. It happened so fast as well. I'm glad I got a foul call, but I didn't think it was ill intention at all or anything. I think he was just trying to stop the play.
You guys had third quarter. We came out of a timeout. You really started driving against the zone. Had several drives and several possessions. They had to call timeout. Did that at all kind of loosen things up for the fourth quarter? Because you really were kind of struggling offensively to get any consistency going.
I'm not too sure. I think like it's always going to come down to like just being aggressive and just like whatever they present to you, you take what they give you. I did a better job of that in the second half, and I think that's why I had more success. Now in these big games, big moments, like you can get caught up in the emotion and wanting to take over in certain parts of the game, but like trying to stay true to the possession game and stay true to just reading what they're giving you is the trick of the trade. So I regrouped at halftime and did a better job of that, I think, in the second half, and was able to have a little bit of success.
Hey, Shai, what do you expect from a closeout game in Denver for Game 6?
Their greatest punch. I'm sure they don't want to go home just as bad as we don't, so we'll probably get the best game out of them.
We can go Barry for last question for Shai.
Yeah, well, I think the last two games, Marcus has shaken up your rotation. Yeah. You're going out late first quarter. Why is that, and how, or whatever the reason, how effective do you think it's been?
Yeah, Mark is a good coach. Those wrinkles in the game. He comes to me and asks me if I'm with it. I tell him I don't care as long as my minutes don't change. But yeah, he is coaching. I let him do his thing. I'm cool with it.
Thank you, Shai.
Looking ahead, the Oklahoma City Thunder can close this series out on Thursday, but if there's a Game 7, it will be on Sunday at a determined time to come later. Thunder, 2-0 since this smile. Remember, the Denver Nuggets in that overtime session scored 9 consecutive points, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander walked off the court with this grin on his face. Here's the thing. We do know the history of series that are tied 2-2 to Game 5 winner win 81% of the time. So when that happened, Zeke, they were down 2-1 in the series, and now they're in the driver's seat on their way trying to get to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and you know, Denver's a tough out. They've won a championship before. They have championship medal. OKC is being tested. They've had the best record, throughout the season. They rely on their defense. And Shai was right to smile because, it's not about OKC's offense. It's about them relying on the thing they do best, and that's defend.
Yes, Smitty, and clearly they did that to the umph degree. When you look at the fourth quarter, holding Denver to a 1-for-12 start, 7 minutes without scoring at all. So for the Denver Nuggets, who were up in each of the last 2 fourth quarters, lost both games, how do they close out like they did, let's say, in Game 3?
Well, as always, defense wins championships. Obviously, if your defense can get you to the last 2 minutes, and obviously the best players take over, like Jokic and Murray in their two-man game, and Shai, Gilgeous, Alexander, and Jay Will. I mean, I think it comes down to you see Denver's trying to junk up the defense a little bit, but then sometimes when guys get to figuring out this zone and how you're doing it, you're giving up open shots. It's going to come down to, I think right now, is can the OKC understand the pressure that's going to be put on them and playing in Denver? Denver's been through it. Jokic is going to come and play. Jamal Murray is going to play. And I think Michael Porter will have a big game, or Aaron Gordon. But I really look at how well can they control their emotions, because it's going to be some foul calls, whether they're against you or for you. How can you stay locked in? And I think OKC right now is passing some of those tests.
Does this go 7?
I expect a Game 7. Both teams are good enough, and I think Denver wins at home, and they're playing Sunday in OKC, and then it's a toss-up.
Great series between the two MVP finalists. Guy who finished second last year in SGA, the guy who won it last year, and Nikola Jokic. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Playoff Central Live.